Hiya pal, and welcome back to the Chatty Freelancer podcast, the home of creative honesty. In today's episode, I'm meeting Morgan Hastie at the Social Hub in Glasgow, an award-winning packaging designer and illustrator who runs a freelance business under the name the Logo Lassie. But what makes Morgan's story a very interesting one is that she is also a design student. Ever since I've met Morgan, I have been in awe at how she has built her freelance career alongside university, landed work with major brands, and developed her own recognisable personal brand, all whilst navigating student life. In this episode, we get an inside peek at exactly how Morgan got here, what it really looks like to freelance as a student, how to land those big projects, and Morgan's barrier-shattering plans to change how students can break into the industry. Safe to say, if you are a design student or emerging creative, get your notebook out and take some notes because this one is definitely for you. So, without further ado, let's go meet Morgan for a chat. Morgan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I'm very, very excited to chat to you about student life, about being a freelancer, about being an award-winning designer, about everything that you're doing. But the first question I wanted to ask you was, you are a packaging designer.
Yeah.
So, if you were a doll, what would
I am
you...
a doll.
Oh, you're a doll. Diva doll. What would your packaging look like? How would you describe your packaging?
It's probably going to be colourful
Yes.
with like some fun typography.
Yes.
And then the packaging's going to be big because with my doll, you're probably going to get your dash hound accessories because my wee dogs would need to be in there, and then you're probably going to have like, you know, the wee laptop for the dog to hold. So I'd say it's quite big, very colourful, probably lots of green.
Lots of green. That's
Lots of
literally
green.
my first thing that comes to mind when we were just talking there. We were like, I was expecting you to wear green. And
I know.
You would expect me to wear red.
I know, I always wear green, and then I'm trying to move away from like just using green in my brand, so there's a bit more versatility. But
Yeah.
I've just have this wardrobe of green, so I thought today blue, but then
Blue,
now
I
I'm
like
matching everything.
No, it looks gorgeous, but no, it's funny how you can like associate someone with a colour, like, but as you were saying, like, you then are like, oh God, what have I done? Have I just like, I'm gonna have to stick with this for the rest of my design career? Like, I don't want to, like, I want to do other colours.
Yeah, like my profile picture for about 3 years has just been me on
the
green
green
background.
Yeah, we're changing it up though, we've got to. So yeah, going into your hot topic today. So you are an incredibly inspirational designer, person, and we've known each other now for, oh my God,
Wow, a couple of years.
I don't even know, I can't remember when I met you.
I think it was at the Adobe Create Now.
It was.
And Bad.
It was.
Yes, with Emily.
That's exactly when it was.
Yeah, Emily and Craig.
Which was like literally about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, maybe more to be
Like
honest. That was
like
a while ago.
November 2024.
24?
Flippin' hell.
Yeah.
Flippin' hell. So I know a lot about like your journey, and like, you know, I see your work every day, and it's so incredibly inspirational. But you came from a biomedical science
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
And you did a bit of acting, you did into theatre as well, and then you decided to write your design application on a bus in Peru, is that right?
I did, yeah.
Why?
I think I had a bit of a crisis, to be honest. Like, I did my biomedical sciences degree,
Yeah.
which was very overarching and like interesting, but just not really for me. And I think the only reason I really went to study that in the first place is because growing up working class, if you're even slightly smart, quote unquote, or like academic is maybe the better word, they're like, oh, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer.
Yes.
You know, you'll never make any money, you need to leave the scheme, right? And it's kind of like, oh, you won't make any money as an artist, even though I always did art, I always did graph com. But then when COVID hit, like it's such an old story, everybody has this like similar journey, I think, with COVID, but I started doing little bits of illustration again and started finding my creativity a little bit again, just because I had nothing else to do, really. And it all came from there. And then I went travelling in 2022, and I just sort of finished up my third year of biology, and I sort of made the decision of like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I'd been doing a wee bit of acting, but again, I was like, this isn't really it. And I always felt called back to the graphic design side that I was sort of doing on the side, and I wouldn't say that the work was good by any means, but it's definitely given me a taste of, you can make money doing this, you know? So yeah, on the night bus, everyone was talking about, oh yeah, I'm going back to a job, I just graduated, this is my gap year, then I'm going back to be a lawyer or whatever. And I had a wee bit of a panic, like, what am I going to go back and do?
Yeah.
So
But not biomedical science.
not science, not acting. What am I going to do? So I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to give this a go. And I wrote my personal statement in the notes app, and I just applied to Clyde College and got in like 2 weeks later. Amazing. And I've not really looked back since. I'm really glad that I applied there. I think I just got really lucky, but the course has been great.
Yeah, our stories are very similar. I wasn't on a night bus in Peru, but like, because you do amazing travelling, by the way. Like, some of the stuff you've done is absolutely incredible. You've climbed Kilimanjaro. Is that right?
Yeah, I have. I did that last New Year's.
Same.
And it had to be airlifted off because I like took an allergic reaction to the sun. My face swelled out to here. I don't know. I wish I did know. The hospital, the doctor was like, I've never seen this.
This before, but like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God you're all right.
I was good. Yeah, it's fine. And I think I just really wanted to try and. I've always seen it as uni's an opportunity to squeeze in your travels before you have to get a big girl job kind of
Oh,
thing.
that's exactly what I've done. Like,
yeah.
I saved up all my sass and went interrailing 1 year for like a full month. It was
So
like
fun.
so much fun. But yeah, like, it's so interesting. Our stories are very similar in terms of like, I too, through COVID, it was a wee bit before COVID actually, that I started doing like, because I was in hospitality.
Okay.
And I was like, that's my calling. That's what I want to do. I want to do hospitality.
Of course, because you wanted to like be a manager,
I wanted
didn't
to
you?
be a manager.
Yeah, I remember
wanted
this.
to be a wedding venue manager. So I went to college for 3 months to study it, and then I decided absolutely freaking not. But then I always drew as a child, always drawn as a child. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to try drawing again. So I got a Wacom tablet and I started doing digital illustrations.
That's the same as me, Wacom tablet.
Yeah,
Mine was like from 2011. I was like, can't believe it still worked. Like, honestly.
Yeah, and it was like totally opened my eyes to like, because I started like a wee side business. I was like selling illustrations, like custom illustrations.
Yeah.
And then, you know, COVID happened and then I opened the Etsy shop doing like typography prints. And that time through COVID was like a sort of gateway for people to be like,
I think so.
I'm going to try what I've always wanted to try because I've got the time at home to do it.
Yeah.
And then...
And the furlough.
to
support me.
Literally, yeah. So it was like, that is crazy. And then I decided to, fuck, I'm just go back to college and...
It's literally the exact same thing.
Study it.
I was doing those like faceless illustrations that everybody went mental for. Do you remember? And it was you'd send a picture in and get it without the face and the
Why was
eyes
that
and
a
stuff.
thing?
I don't know, but it made me some amount of money. I'll tell you that. That was what showed me like, oh, people will actually pay me
For
to like
this?
make stuff. Yeah.
Mine's was Harry Potter illustrations, so people would want to be drawn as like a Hogwarts
I feel like
student.
that's so fun though. That's a lot more original than what I was doing. I was just jumping on a trend.
If it made you money and it got you, if it sparked that thing in you where you're like, I want to do this more, thank bloody God for those faceless illustrations.
I know,
because
that's true.
you wouldn't be doing the amazing stuff that you're doing now. So like moving on to that, so you are currently still studying.
Yeah.
What year are you in? You're in your last year?
Yeah, I've got like a month and a bit left at the time that we're recording this.
my
so
God.
I suppose when it comes out,
You'll be
I'll be done.
graduated.
I'll be done.
You're fully graduated, and throughout this time you've been freelancing. Again, it's very similar to me. I didn't freelance through college, but I did freelance through uni. But now you've went on to like win awards. Like it's absolutely incredible. The work you do is just so gorgeous and so inherently you, and it's just no wonder it's so successful because you're so incredibly talented. And
Thank
just
you.
take the compliment.
I was gonna say, I was just like, wow, I'm just being showered with like niceness.
But no, but
here.
like because like your work is just absolutely amazing. But how have you managed to do this through studying? Like, what was that freelance leap like for you when you like? Because when did you start freelancing?
Well, I suppose if you're counting, which I wouldn't really, right? But if you were counting the illustrations
Yeah, that's technically
and stuff,
freelancing.
yeah. Technically freelancing there while working another job, and then some people were asking for logos and stuff, which were probably like not really logos, but they were logos at the time. And then I would say I went full hog with the freelancing. I was able to quit. I was working at Starbucks at the time. I was able to quit Starbucks in September 2023.
Yeah.
So it's almost 3 years, like 2.5 years of fully going for it.
Yeah.
And I guess it reached a point where I was sort of on the edge of like, if I'm at Starbucks, I feel like I'm losing money because I could be spending that day doing my own thing. So I had to make a decision to sort of just go full on with it. But it was always quite easy for me to balance it because I felt like I would make the time. Like I would come home in the evening and I would sit and do like a passion project.
Yeah.
Or if I learned something in college that day or wanted to get better at something, I would write a fake brief or find a brief online that would help me get like better at that thing, like packaging design, for example. And I don't know, I just think because I'd done the course before, I always just had a bit more of a fire under my arse of like, I'm just going to put in the work here and try and get ahead of where I want to be. Because I think there was a real thing for me of dropping out of uni before finishing my honours year. The first time seeing all my friends graduate, I felt a wee bit behind. So maybe there was a real thing of like,
I'm going to prove
I want to catch up or be
yeah.
ahead of where I'm at, which maybe isn't the healthiest mindset, but also I got better at it.
If it motivated you.
Yeah, I felt more motivated to learn and develop. And I would say that because I'm only in college 2 to 3 days max, I always had a little bit more time. But I will say this year has probably been the first year where I've really thought, this is hard. Like,
What are those things that, like, what is the reality in the day to day for you, like life wise, now that you are established, successful freelance designer, have a freelance business? Like, how do you balance that with student life? Because I speak to students sometimes and they're like, cannot cope with just uni.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you doing both?
This, like I say, this year has been really tricky. Like I was on the cusp. I designed, the biggest project I did was this book that I designed, and I was on 24/7 with it. Like I was working until midnight some nights trying to get that done.
Yeah.
And then in between that, you're like, right, I need to make time now for client stuff. Oh, I've got a call. And I will say, like, I made a deliberate decision this year to take on less clients. And if I hadn't done that, I don't know. I think I would have, like, made some enemies. I think people would be, like, coming for me because I don't think I would have been delivering my best standard of work.
Yeah, because it's a
lot. But I was quite lucky to have, I think because I'd set myself up for 3 years now of working with clients and sort of getting retainers and things like that to keep me going. I'm really lucky that I was able to say I'm going to take on less this year.
That's a really good position to be in, to be able to do that. So, like, I'm interested though, like, what made you stick this out? Because I feel like, if I'm trying to think if it was for me, if I was in the position where I'm doing the thing that I'm studying to become, why am I still doing it? Why don't I just leave and just, like, freelance and be what I am wanting to graduate and become? So you've already, because I kind of felt like that in my sort of like kind of last half of uni. I was like, I'm freelancing whilst I'm at university, but I'm doing the job that I'm trying to get. So I'm like, oh, but it was so hard. But then I was like, no, Chloe, you've came this far. You've got to just get that bloody degree and get it done. So, like, is that similar for you?
There's a wee bit of that. I've had people ask me this before, and I think the answer is always a wee bit different. But I will never, like, regret doing it, because the amount of stuff I've learned, even from last year till now, like, I'm exponentially better with technical side of typography is just, like, one thing that comes to mind. And all these things are employability skills. And I think I've just always got it in the back of my head of, like, if freelance fails, I'll always have my degree. I'll always have that. It doesn't matter. That's all, that can't really be taken away from me, and then I can go and get a job or whatever else. I've had really good experiences. I've been able to network, and I think there's also a wee bit of a chip on my shoulder for not finishing the first one. So I'm like, I did this degree before, and I did the 3 years, and I didn't stick it out till the end. I just got the BA, and now I'm like, no, I just want the degree in this thing that I love and I'm so passionate about. And I've sort of taken a new tack this year to make it less stressful for myself of treating uni like it's just passion projects. Like, I've just made stuff I want to make that fits the brief, and I've come away with 6 projects that I'm so proud of. And I feel way less stressed after the book almost, saw me off. I was like, I need to do something to make this make sense in my brain. So I just treated it like just building my portfolio and having fun. So I think for that reason, like, I never wanted to leave. I wanted to always stick it out and keep learning, especially seeing, for me, at the degree shows at the end of the year, the difference between the second year's work versus the fourth year's, and being like, oh, wait, how did they get from that to that? I want to know. I'm going to stay and learn how to do that. So
you say you're a very curious person?
I think so. I think you have to be in this line of work.
I know,
A little bit curious.
You, like, try different things.
Yeah, I like to learn new things or have experience under my belt of like, oh, I kind of fancy a wee bit of animation. I'm going to go do a project to learn animation. You know, like never to be an expert in it, but just to try it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as a freelancer, that's like, I mean, I've done video editing, animation, poster designs, flyers, like social media design, like literally freaking everything. And now, do you focus now more on packaging design? Is that like your thing, or are you trying to like branch out onto other stuff?
It's a wee bit of both. I would say most people find me for packaging because of my bio. Firstly, I've got like some good SEO in the name.
Oh, I love this
designer. So people find me for packaging mostly. I would say probably about 60% of my projects, but I don't close myself off to adjacent opportunities like editorial stuff. I really like doing. So I've done a couple of reports, and then obviously did some illustration work recently. So if an opportunity ever comes up where I think, oh, that would be really fun, or that's something that I've always wanted to have in my portfolio, I'll jump on it. Like I would never close myself off to it. But branding and packaging is like my favourite.
Yeah.
I think anything that gets printed, really, I just like holding the thing. So doesn't necessarily need to be packaging, but just things that are tangible.
Media. Oh, yeah. I mean, your stuff's incredible. Like we've got loads of it here today. Like it is, we've got it all stashed away. But it's like, I agree with you. Like I love like a final product that you can actually hold in your hands, and it's so great. And one of those things that you've done recently was your collaboration with Aardman and Uniqlo, which is freaking nuts. So like you worked with Uniqlo before doing the illustrations, like the little Scottish illustrations, which are great, like the wee Highland cow, bagpipes,
we've got a wee Nessie,
puffin, yeah. And how has that collaboration came around? Because you're a student, you're doing this, you're freelancing, like, and I know the question for people listening to this, especially students listening to this, will be like, how the fucking hell have you managed to land a project like that? Because that's Aardman's cool as anything, and Uniqlo is like a mammoth the now retail industry. How?
I wish I
How,
knew.
Morgan?
I wish I knew the answer to that, because I could then replicate it and try to get more jobs like this. But I was in China with my friends when they inquired with me, and I had which is quite funny now looking back, because I'd connected to like a public Wi-Fi. I thought I was like getting scammed. When the first time they emailed me, I said to my friend, I was like, this seems fake, because the inquiry was literally just like, the woman's name at Uniqlo Europe, we'd love to collaborate with you on something, like email back. And I was like,
really?
This seems shady.
It's fishy.
So then I messaged them like, just traveling right now, but when I'm back. So about 2 weeks later, I reached out and she's like, oh, let's jump on a call. I was like, oh, this is like for real.
Oh, yeah.
So then we worked together on the Scottish embroidery, and that was supposed to just be a one-off for Edinburgh. But I think because it launched during the Fringe, and there's this huge influx of people who just love Scotland. Because I kind of said that at the start. I was like, is it for tourists or is it for Scottish people? And they said it's a wee bit of both, but probably more tourists. And the wait list was like 4 weeks long. So because of that, they were like, oh, let's work together again. So we did the Glasgow ones, which was the same sort of set of designs with 2 exclusives. And then because of that, I think like it's really a testament to in this industry, like if you do a good job and you're not a dick, people want to work with you again. See if you can just get yourself noticed that one time, because the Aardman thing, that wouldn't have happened if
didn't have that first opportunity.
Yeah, because my contact Yuki was working with Aardman for the Bristol launch. They're preparing for their 50th anniversary, so all their graphic designers are so busy, but they wanted to do it. So Yuki was like, well, here's some designers that we've worked with. And actually, they saw a project that I had done, like a passion project. It was for like a gelato brand called Just Chillin'.
Yes, I remember this. You animated it too.
I animated it, So that was just to learn animation. I made that whole thing. Like that's an example of like, I want to learn animation, right?
That's then been the butterfly effect of like,
yeah,
that's helped them make a decision to work with you.
Yeah, so they saw the illustration style. They were like, we really like this. We think it would work for our IP. So then if you look at the two side by side, you can see the influences of like, I put Wallace in flares and they thought that was really funny. They were like, I can't believe you put Wallace in flares. I was like, I can't believe you approved it. But
he's a modern guy.
Yeah, he's modern. He's on
fashionable.
But yeah, no, so if I hadn't done that, I don't think all those factors together. But now I'm just like, what's next? Like, I want to do more like that. It was such a fun project to work on.
It's so cool, so vibrant. It's a really, really cool project, and what a name to be able to like put on your portfolio as well. Like, I can imagine like students listening would be like, I would love that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I think the biggest tip then, I guess, if that was to tie it back to your original question, is really just being visible and not being scared to post your work. And I know that sounds like really vague, but
I mean, you came from
from a fake project, really. That one.
Yeah, like I am so on the passion project bandwagon. Like, literally, like that's how I've got opportunities as well. It's just doing stuff like within my own, like, you know, capacity, just to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna try that,
or make the things that you want to be hired for.
Exactly.
If no one's hiring you for it yet.
Exactly. So you're just sitting there waiting around, like just waiting for this thing to come, and you're like, but in that time you could be doing projects like that.
That's illustrative, or you want to learn animation, or you know, you want to do packaging, do a fake brief that includes packaging. Like, that is what you do. Do you know what I mean? It's 100%. The best way. Yeah.
So like, what? Kind of moving on to that like personal branding side of things, like you have got such a great online presence as well, and I know from experience like that doesn't come as easy to other grads and students. You're so confident, and
I'm glad it comes across that way.
No, but like you are, like, and I'm the same, right? People ask me like, how are you online all the time? Like, how do you stay consistent? I'm like, you don't see the behind the scenes. You don't see the meltdowns. You don't see the imposter syndrome. You don't see the self-doubt. And that is very real. But you have to push through, and you're like, nobody else is going to make this happen other than me. Yeah. So like, you have to just build that personal brand. It doesn't have to be as front-facing as most personal brands are. It can be just something as small as like going to an event and like introducing yourself and letting people know who you are. That's the start of a personal brand, but like, you are really great at it. So like, your handle is like Logo Lassie, and as we talked about at the start, like, always think about green when I see you. So you have built an incredible personal brand, and your visibility is amazing. You've also become an Adobe ambassador and things as well, like that Adobe Express ambassador. So has that all came from building a personal brand? Like, where does that confidence come from? And like, how can people like do the same as what you're doing?
Yeah, I think like there's been years behind that. Yeah. That obviously isn't really maybe visible to people who have just recently followed me. There was ugly phases where I like couldn't even record myself, like was shy, or my content was just a regurgitation of what other people were doing, because I thought that's what they're successful in, so that's going to automatically make me successful, which isn't actually true. I think the best thing I ever did was stop caring about metrics and focusing more on like what's something that I find interesting. Do I want to learn more about something? I think I learned that from James Barnard, actually, because he gave a talk down in London where he said when he wants to learn something, he turns it into a video. And I started doing a little bit of that with the packaging stuff, and then sharing a wee bit more behind the scenes. And when I got more confident talking on camera, like, I saw exponential growth, because people feel like they know you a wee bit more. They want to work with you because you're a person. You're not just a faceless account. Yes. Which is a big thing, I think. But yeah, it takes a while to get there. I think the acting probably helped with the confidence, like getting theatre background. Being a wee bit more confident, like following a script and stuff. But I don't know. It takes a while to get there.
It does.
Pushing yourself out your comfort zone. But I think whenever anyone asks me that or says that they don't feel too confident doing it, I'm always like, well, small steps. You know, like post one thing, or post one story with your face in it, or
follow a brief, because there's so many like online like Instagram accounts that post like briefs that you can follow. So like, follow a brief, post the work, tag that account, tag whoever else is involved. Like,
get yourself just seen, and also just meeting other designers. I know that there's a lot of discourse that goes back and forth on whether you should be focusing on reaching other designers or whether your content should be solely focused on clients when you're trying to freelance. But I actually think a mix of both is the best, because you expand your own network and you don't feel as lonely, which is really nice. And I think it's nice to see people as your community rather than competition. I think that can be really disheartening if you see everybody as competition and they're doing better quote unquote, because it's how do you even measure that?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not about that. It's like celebrating, like, that's a cool thing you've just done. That's incredible. How did you do it? Tell me, talk to me, like, explain, and then learn from that. Don't be like, oh, I'm so jealous of that person, and
she's doing that or whatever. It doesn't serve you at all. It just makes you procrastinate more, I would say, because you're holding yourself to this really high standard when that person's on like the 25th mile in their marathon and you're just about to start. Like, it doesn't make any sense to, as a student especially, or a new grad, to hold yourself to the same standard as someone who's been on social media or freelancing for 4 or 5 years. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Just learn from them. So, like, coming back to that, like, kind of working with big brands and things, do you, in your experience, feel like students maybe don't put themselves forward for things because there's this, like, label of, like, you're a design student, so you are at the first mile of your marathon, and we maybe are not going to work with you. Whereas, like, I feel like you've broken that, like, shattered that barrier of, like, no, like, I'm a student, but I am working with these, like, big names. Like, but do you feel like there's this sort of misconception or perception of, like, students are just, they're students, so they're not ready to work for, like, big brands like that?
There definitely is, for sure. Like, I think especially what serves me in that area is having so much of my work visible, so they can see that I can do the work. And I don't just show the final product. I'll talk about, you know, the concept or the strategy behind it, the idea, which is ultimately what agencies and brands want to see. Are you capable of following a concept, like delivering something that answers the brief properly? They don't really, like, pretty visuals are nice, but it ultimately doesn't prove anything. But I think if I didn't have all that behind me, I couldn't put my money where my mouth was and say, like, I have worked with packaging brands, here's some proof or whatever. I think it'd be a lot harder. And people definitely do still, even with me, like, talk down to me a wee bit or assume that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't always know what I'm talking about, but don't assume.
Well, exactly. Do you ever purposely not tell people you're a student?
I used to never tell anyone, but now I can't really hide it because I talk about it online. But I used to just, like, not necessarily lie, but just not really acknowledge it.
Mention it,
but I think I was even, I might have told you that story, I think I did, where a design agency in London messaged me. Yeah, they messaged me, and this is like a prime example of just, like, the student thing. Like, they messaged me based on my portfolio, based on my website, based on my Instagram. And they said, oh, we're hiring for a senior design position. Like, do you want to do an interview? So I was like, cool. Flew down to London. Because I was going down already for an Adobe thing. I was like, well, I'll just swing by early and maybe just have a coffee, whatever. And they were looking at my portfolio, and I was talking through my projects, which is a big thing, being able to talk about the work. And then after that, I mentioned, like, and I'll be finishing up uni X time, however, I can't even remember how long ago this was, a couple of months ago. And as soon as I said that, his whole demeanour changed, and he was just like, oh, like, I'm not qualified for a senior role, right? And I knew that going into it, but what's the harm in touching base with an agency that you admire?
Throwing your hat in.
But I didn't really like his whole demeanour changed, and then he was like, oh, maybe we could do an internship.
Oh my god.
And I was like, you were gonna get me in as a senior, which I wouldn't have done anyway, but, like, you were willing to get me in for an interview for a senior position, and as soon as I say I'm a student, you're like,
oh, internship.
No. What I think the real issue is that a lot of students now, or maybe the way that it's viewed, is, like, if they have work under their belt, they know how to manage projects and stuff. Maybe some people in the industry would think they're getting a wee bit more bang for their buck hiring them at a lower level. Which is a shame, and I think that probably happens to a lot of people. There's incredibly talented students who are so ready for the industry, but because they've got that kind of title of new grad or just recently graduated or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're not as qualified. And it's like, well, but, like,
you've been literally doing the work for like 4 years.
Managing projects,
That's what you've been doing. Like, your student experience is work experience in my eyes.
My lecturer says this too. He's like, you're running a project like you would in an agency.
And you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah, so if anything...
you're overqualified.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad that there's that sort of perception sometimes. So something that you're doing, which is amazing, that's kind of bringing those worlds together, is that you've started a new event called Side Door.
We've changed the name
To
Doorways. But yes, it's the same ethos, you know.
Same thing, where your whole purpose is to show students there is many different pathways into the industry. There's not just one. So tell me a bit about that. Why and it's now Doorways, it's not Side Door.
I think Doorways just felt a bit more fitting of like the whole ethos of it is that there is more than one way in.
Yes.
And there's more than one door to get your foot in.
Yep.
And people take different paths into the industry, and the whole idea was sort of born from talking to other students at networking events and stuff, and people who had gone to maybe different courses than I had. Because I will say, and I always advocate for this, like my course prepared me really well. They teach us how to freelance.
Ours is the same.
Yeah, they're really good, but there are some courses that aren't, and students are leaving with maybe a portfolio that's not necessarily as usable, or they don't know how to freelance, they don't know how to price themselves, they don't know how to interview or present their work, like all these things. So I did a survey with all the sort of art schools and courses and stuff, just to see what students were worried about, what are the kind of main fears and problems, and it was like all the same things of like, I'm worried about the job market, I really want to freelance, I don't know how, I don't know if I'm confident enough to market myself. It was like a big one. There was loads, honestly, like summarised it all, and I thought to myself, like, maybe there's a way we can address this and help them. A big one was that they felt nervous to network, but they know that they have to. And there's obviously like amazing networking events like SEN and Curio and Gab and but some people that go to these events are a lot more senior, and maybe a student wouldn't feel as confident. So what I wanted to do was sort of make a soft networking launch, almost like my event would be like a stepping stone to you then going to like
dipping your toes in.
This is
a more kind of like
everyone's your peer.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
we're all on the same level playing field here, no hierarchy situations, and then we can all just like get to know each other. And also, but you're also going to have like people from industry there.
Yes, so we've got in-house agency and freelance to sort of talk about their different paths and how it wasn't linear, because they all have taken like crazy journeys. The in-house speaker that we have started out doing English Lit and is now the design lead at Lloyds Bank. Like, we've got just like crazy journeys and unconventional ways in, and
that's what you need.
Going through phases and all this stuff. So I think that's going to be really important, and we're going to be doing some portfolio review, station, social media review, and we're sponsored by Adobe Express as well,
which is incredible.
Yeah, they've been so great. So,
and again, that's probably came from it's that whole thing of like consistency and putting yourself out there. Visibility has led up to this moment for you where you've been able to approach Adobe and be like, I've got this idea for this thing. Yeah. Could you? And they're doing a lot with students anyway, so it was kind of perfect. And I was like, this is for students and grads, like maybe if you want to help. And they were super keen. So yeah. Oh, are you excited? I am excited. I think it's going to be good. We started small. It's going to be quite small. Yeah. The first one I think is very much just to get feedback. And it's a pilot and see what happens and like have fun with it. And you're doing such an incredible thing for people, and it's very much needed. Like you're saying, there is lots of events here in Glasgow, in Scotland, but there's none that's just for. From what I'm aware of, there's not just one that's just for students. Just students, yeah. Or at least I did have to open it up to, and it's maybe worth saying, like emerging creatives and grads. Yeah. Because there are people who are self-taught that are still at the same, having the same issues. So it's very much start of your career, first level, you want to come in and maybe make a few contacts. Like I know you're going to be there helping out. And then the speakers and all the rest of it. So you're getting to meet some people who are a bit more experienced in the industry, more senior, but you're mostly surrounded by people who are on the same level as you. Yeah, less intimidating, less scary, hopefully, and like I'm very much looking forward to coming and seeing how it goes, because it sounds incredible, and like I love speaking to students. It's one of my favourite things to do, It'll just be lovely to have a big room full of them to be able to see.
I think there's always a nice energy with people who are just starting out. I think like when you're surrounded in unis and stuff.
Yeah. It's just like eagerness and like wanting to learn, and like they'll so appreciate this opportunity, and like hopefully we'll take a lot out of it, and it's incredible.
Yeah, we're discussing some potential opportunities to maybe be doing like internship competitions and things. Cool. So these are all things that might come down the line. I just need to see how the first one goes, and then we'll just
that's the best way to do it, honestly. Is just to see what happens and learn from it, and then just make the next one better.
Yeah,
but I'm sure it'll be an absolute hit. So we're moving on now, Morgan, to the most important question of the podcast, which is, of course, movie pie. So this is a question I ask all my guests, because why the hell not? What is your favourite movie and the tastiest pie that you've ever had?
Oh, favourite movie's hard because I have so many comfort movies. But I honestly love like a good rom-com, like maybe like About Time. Is definitely up
hell. There. It ruins me every time I watch it.
It's up there so for me with the dads and stuff. Yeah,
so sad.
I know, heartbreak. That's like a comfort movie that we put on of like if we're a bit tired, let's just watch About Time. We bought it on Amazon. We own it. It's like the only movie we own. Tastiest pie. This might be quite niche and people might know what I'm talking about, but there used to be this 24-hour pie shop in Edinburgh. What? And you would go there after a night out. It shut down, but
if I knew about it, I could have kept it in business.
It's so you. But you would go, and it would be like the only place open after a night out when I was a student there. Because in Glasgow you've got everything, but in Edinburgh there's not really much. And you'd go get a pie, and they used to do this like Cajun chicken with mac and cheese pie.
What? Both in the same pie?
Yeah.
Wow.
But you were so like drunk.
Tastes amazing.
It tastes amazing. And I couldn't tell you if it tastes amazing sober, but I think about it often when I'm like, I wish that place was still in business. They did every flavour you could possibly imagine, chicken curry, steak, like honestly everything. And I still talk about it with my friends, like, do you remember the pie shop? We'd all just walk and congregate there. It's great.
Oh my god, I'm so upset that's not still a thing. That's so annoying. Cajun chicken and macaroni pie sounds phenomenal. Great choices. I do love About Time. Bill Nye's really great in that film.
He is, as the dad. Such a quirky man in that film.
And obviously Rachel McAdams, what a gal. I thought you were going to say Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, honestly, up there I thought about it. I was like, I could do a fantasy vibe because I am like a fantasy gal.
Yeah.
And if I was doing Lord of the Rings, I was like, it would have to be the Two Towers, I think. It's probably my favourite one.
That's your favourite one?
Yeah.
We recently watched the trilogy, because I haven't watched it in years, and I was like, oh god, I can't pick. Twin Towers is the one I remember the most.
Yeah, it's probably the one I've seen the most.
Yeah,
because I would always skip the Fellowship, because it's more of a setup, usually.
But then, see, watching it back when I'm older, the Fellowship is so good.
It's funny because growing up, we would go to my grand's on Boxing Day every year and the Lord of the Rings would be on. So I associate it with Christmas. Like, it's a Christmas movie to me, but my partner was like, what? But then this year we watched it and he was like, oh, this could be like a new tradition. Like, we could watch this every year, so it's going to keep going, I think.
Oh, I love it. And you do have to have your Christmas film tradition, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm the same. It reminds me of that Harry Potter and
Hook.
Yeah. Hook reminds me of Christmas.
They must have always been on like Channel 4 or something when we've grown up or whatever.
We've got loads of them recorded. Like, we just go at Christmas, just record all the films that are on. Good choices. I'm going to need to like try and find a place that does this pie.
24-hour pie shop, honestly, if any, I hope people remember it because it's so iconic. It's such a part of being a student in Edinburgh, like, oh, let's go get a pie
there'll be
after
loads
the
of
club.
Oh my god, that was like my dream.
I was going to say, I was like, I actually wondered if you would know that it existed.
Nah, sadly not, but one day, hopefully.
Maybe they'll bring it back.
Maybe they'll bring it back, but no, fantastic choices. So we're moving towards the end now. I want to ask you, what's kind of like in the immediate for you? Like, what's happening in Morgan's future? Like, you've obviously got Doorways happening very soon, which is like next month because we're recording this in April.
2 weeks away.
2 weeks away, which is not far. But what else is on your horizon?
Graduating. I'm going to finish up. Done. I'm so excited. Once that's done, I don't know. I'm hoping I can maybe freelance for some agencies. Yeah. That's like, I've landed on, do I want to go into agency or do I want to keep freelancing? Oh, maybe this is a nice middle ground. See if I can make it happen. So that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I hope to keep sort of doing what I'm doing.
Yep.
Maybe focus a wee bit more on the social media side, because I've let that fall a wee bit by the wayside, which I think
You've been a
happens
busy gal.
when you're a busy gal. Yep.
You've been working
hard stretched, but I'd like to get back into doing that type of thing and working with a wee bit more clients as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, nothing too exciting. I just want to like start now.
Yeah, you will be. As soon as that like graduation's done, you're like, woohoo!
Like, yeah, that's me. I'm gonna have an abundance of time that I don't even know what I'm gonna do.
You know what you're gonna do with it. You're gonna work your ass off because
yeah.
that's what you're like. But I'm the exact same. Have you got any fun, crazy travels planned?
Honestly, nothing too crazy. I feel like my crazy travel days are slowly falling behind me. Like I've ticked off loads of fun stuff, but I'm going to Porto.
Nice. I've been. It's lovely.
Have you been? Oh, nice. You need to give me recommendations.
You will love it.
But we're
a lot of hills.
Going there for like a wee long weekend situation.
Gorge.
And yeah, just see.
Chill out. See what else happens.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. My last question for you, Morgan.
Oh.
If there's a student listening to this who is just feeling like they're not confident, they're not ready to put their projects out there, they're just a bit scared of the industry, or don't feel like they can put themselves towards an opportunity, what would you say to them?
I mean, if I was being blunt, I would say just do it. Who's really going to see it? And I think one thing to be more anecdotal with it is like I was able to be bad when I had a smaller audience and was able to then grow with my business.
Yeah.
And now there's stuff like that I posted way in the beginning that I'm like, that's the worst thing ever. But at the time...
So self-critical.
But you just have to... I mean, yeah, looking back, you're like, oh, I would change this,
yeah,
and this,
of course,
you know.
Older eyes.
But I think that just getting yourself out there, even if you don't think it's ready or you don't think it's perfect, is so important, because nothing's ever going to feel perfect. So it's a good practice for you to get over that and be less, maybe I should take my own advice, be less critical of yourself.
Yes.
And just practice like talking about your work and showing the reasons why it is the way it is really important, and maybe focus more on that than the finished product. Like focus on the process would be my advice, because that's what clients ultimately care about.
Yes,
in my experience.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. Well, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me.
Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome.
Wow, what an inspiring chat that was. Thank you so much to Morgan for coming on and chatting with me today. If you want to connect with Morgan, I've added all of her links in the description below. Definitely go give her a follow. Also, a special thanks to the Social Hub in Glasgow for letting us record in your space. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't be shy, give it some love. You can follow the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, if you want to see some exclusive content, you can visit my Patreon. The link is also in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll chat with you soon.
Say hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
No, whatever.
Hi, friends. I'm Greg.
And I'm Ross.
And we run Scottish Creative Network.
We hope you enjoyed the latest episode of the Chatty Freelancer podcast.
We are very proud to be the sponsors of said podcast and the hosts of monthly creative events here at the Social Hub.
Join us every month to meet your creative community and join us for our signature creative chaos.
Signature? That sounds fancy.
It is what we do.
Anyway, you can grab a discount code below.
Oh wait, I was making a stupid face.